Hi, this is Jeff Big Daddy Wayne. I want to thank you for tuning in here to my YouTube channel. Big Daddy knows, and trust me, Big Daddy does know. I want to talk about Pauly Shore today. I gave Pauly Shore his first paying job as a comedian, ladies and gentlemen. I started comedy at the Westwood Comedy Store in Los Angeles, and at that time, Mitzi Shore, of course, was the owner of the Comedy Store in Westwood. Sammy Shore was her former husband, and Sammy was a comedian. He used to open for Elvis. And one of their sons was Pauly Shore. So when you would go to the Comedy Store in Westwood, they had a little kitchen to serve appetizers and some burgers, and they called it the Pauly Burger. Now, Pauly was around 14 years old at that point. He was cooking in the kitchen. And Pauly was a nice kid, but what I remember most about Pauly in Westwood was he'd be standing with his spatula and his apron outside of the kitchen watching the comedians. He just loved the comics. He would watch, and he was watching everybody. And Sam Kinison got his big start there in Westwood. So zoom ahead. I get a call from Marcus Hamilton, one of the host comedian at the Comedy Store, and he goes, Jeff, Pauly Shore is so funny. Pauly's been doing comedy. He's been working out. He's really funny. And I forget how it came about, but somebody wanted me to book Pauly at the Lamppost Pizza in West Covina. That was a room that was a terror. There was 300 kids. If they didn't like you, they tore you apart. But they loved new comics. They loved anybody that tried. Their antagonism was only to people that tried to attack them or tried to act like they weren't important. So I took Pauly out. I picked him up at his mother's home. Mitzi was so excited. My son doing his first paid job. And I took Pauly out, and the way I booked the show was a very strong opener, a very strong closer, and put Pauly in the middle, and I would MC the show. And Pauly just had a short 10-minute span in the show. Now, let me tell you something. Those kids were all jammed in a box-like room with a tiny stage. They're all drinking beer, eating pizza. It was a savage audience. And the opening act is on, and Pauly turns to me and looked at me and said, you know, Jeff, I'm really a dancer. I do a lot of dancing. I said, well, Pauly, you just do whatever it is that you do. Hey, Pauly went up and did some dancing, but he did some comedy, and the audience loved him. And the next thing I know, I'm driving off of Laurel Canyon, turning onto Sunset. This huge billboard with Pauly and like a big fur thing into the future. Pauly Shore coming at you. And I went, oh my God, this guy's a star. Pauly made me understand something about myself that I did not know. I thought there was good comedy and bad comedy. But there's comedy I just don't understand. And he's a really nice guy, Pauly. But I didn't understand his comedy. You know, he would be in the main room of the Comedy Store, and these people would be going nuts over him. And he'd be calling a girl a donut and, hey, buddy, say he was a weasel. I didn't get the joke, but I understood he was a success. And I had a good time with him on the Mancow show in Chicago. He was very good on Mancow. And then my son liked some show called Pauly Shore is Dead. My son thought that was Pauly made all these big movies. Well, I want to tell you, Mitzi Shore, the queen, who we all came to showcase for and become part of the Comedy Store and become a regular, passed away just a few days ago. And I know Mitzi was very, very proud of all of our comedians at the Comedy Store. Robin and Roseanne, Sam Kinison, all these wonderful comedians that took root from the Comedy Store. And I thought most of all she would be proud of her son, Pauly, because Pauly really was her son. And he you know, his bones were formed at the Comedy Store. So God rest her soul, she was a good lady and an innovative lady and somebody that showed you can do it, because she was up against so much. And Pauly, I understand, was at the hospice reading her emails on the last day. So Pauly just wasn't a funny comedian and a big success, but a good son. Au revoir, Mitzi. Pauly, keep doing it. Subscribe to Jeff Big Daddy Wayne. Big Daddy knows.